All right, thanks, guys. FC Cologne takes on Union Berlin, 9:30 a.m. Eastern kickoff. Cologne's the plus money favorite at plus a buck 10. Totals 2.5, juice to the over. Should see this one close out at 3 if the money keeps moving that way. If you like the over, your best value most likely is now. Now the draw's plus 250, and if you like Union Berlin to get the job done here, they're plus 245 for some money line cash. And following Thursday's sports wagering action, I improved to 11-1 in my last dozen extra daily pick tier package plays on patreon.com/rockpage. And that's a website where I sell really great sports pick subscriptions beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. Now, the Daily Extra Pick is one of those packages that I sell, as I'm also 16-4 in my last 20 picks in that same category as well. And that's good for 80% over the course of the past nearly 3 weeks in that package. I also have a bunch of different, great memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. A lot of variety there, a lot of great stuff going on. And if you want to check out the website right now, maybe browse a little bit, check out my current record. The link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/rockpage. Union Berlin's winless in their last 8 straight, including losses to the likes of Gladbach, Hertha Berlin, and Freiburg, just to name a few. They were also shut out by Bayern Munich, along with a 3-1 loss to Leverkusen in the German Cup during that span as well. Union Berlin's given up 18 total goals in their last 7 matches. They rank 11th in total goals allowed, giving up 53 total goals thus far on the season. They're taking on a Cologne ball club who's lost just 3 games in their last 9 themselves, including a 3-0 shutout victory over Schalke during that stretch. Cologne's also beaten Paderborn and Hertha Berlin during that span as well. Their victory over Hertha was by the final of 5-0. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, 2 out of Cologne's last 3 got over the total of 2.5 goals. Matter of fact, 12 out of their last 13 also got over that number. Meanwhile, on the Union Berlin side of things, 7 out of their last 10 got over the 2.5 themselves. Give me FC Cologne winning this one outright and the over 2.5 in that match. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take another quick timeout and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Saturday's German Bundesliga soccer action. But before we dive into some more of that, I just have to quickly remind you once again that after Thursday's sports wagering action, I improved to 11-1 in my last dozen extra daily pick premium plays on patreon.com/rockpage. And of course, that's a website where I sell really great sports pick subscriptions beginning at just $1.99 through the end of the month. There's also a bunch of different great memberships, tiers, and packages that you can subscribe to. A lot of variety there, a lot of great stuff going on. And one of those packages is called the Extra Daily Pick Tier Membership. We'll bill you the day you sign up, and then the first of every month following that. It's only $2.99 to sign up. You'll get access through the end of the month. And in addition to going 11-1 in my last 12 in that category, I'm also hitting at 16-4 in my last 20 picks in that membership as well. And that's good for 80% over the past nearly 3 weeks in that category. I strongly recommend you at least consider using the website for sports picks. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on. And once again, that's patreon.com/rockpage. Now, moving on, we have Fortuna Dusseldorf taking on Borussia Dortmund in a 9:30 a.m. Eastern start time. No surprise here, Dortmund's the $3 favorite. Total's 3.5, juice to the under. This one will definitely be dropping to 3. It's only a matter of time with that type of movement, with that type of action. Now the draw is currently plus 425, and if you like Dusseldorf in a big upset here, they're plus $8 to win this one outright. That'll certainly get your weekend started off right. Now Fortuna's been victorious in just 1 out of their last 9 matches, and that includes a 5-0 blowout loss to Bayern Munich. They've given up 10 goals in their last 4 matches. Fortuna's also currently in 16th place out of 18 teams in Bundesliga winners of just 6 out of their 30 contests on the season. Fortuna also ranks 16th in total goals. They're averaging just 1.1 goals per contest on average thus far for the season. And when it comes to the defensive side of things, Fortuna also ranks 15th in total goals allowed with 60 of them. And just for reference purposes, first place Bayern Munich has only given up 30 total goals on the year. So that's exactly half of what Fortuna's given up. Now Dortmund on the other side is having one heck of a year, playing some very good football right now. And they're coming fresh off a shutout victory over Hertha, along with a 6-1 victory over Paderborn. That's exactly what was supposed to happen. They've been victorious in 8 out of their last 9 league contests, with shutout victories in 6 of them. They shut out the likes of Wolfsburg, Schalke, Freiburg, and Eintracht Frankfurt, just to name a few. They've given up just 4 total goals in their last 11 matches. They're also currently in second place in the 18-team Bundesliga, going 19-5 with 6 draws during that stretch thus far in the season. Now, one more thing to add about Dortmund, scoring goals certainly has not been a problem for them. They rank second in Bundesliga in total goals scored with 81. Now, speaking of the scoring, oddly enough, 3 out of Dortmund's last 4 stayed under the total of 3.5 goals. 8 out of their last 10 also stayed under that number, and that includes non-league action during that stretch. Meanwhile, on the other side, we're looking at a Fortuna team who saw 4 out of their last 7 stay under that number themselves. Give me Dortmund winning this one straight up for some pricey money line cash. Might want to include that one in a parlay in the under 3.5 in that contest. All right, next matchup I have for you, it is going to be Hertha Berlin taking on Eintracht Frankfurt in a 9:30 a.m. Eastern start time. Hertha is the plus money favorite at plus $1.10. Now the total is 2.5, and that's juiced 62 cents to the over. So definitely look for this one to move to an even 3 goals here shortly. And if you're liking an overplay here, this is certainly going to be your best number right now. Now the draw is currently plus 260, and if you like Frankfurt in an upset, they're plus 230 for an outright win. Now Frankfurt just played a few days ago in the German Cup, the Pokal, DFB Pokal I think it's called, and that was a 2-1 loss to Bayern Munich. They also lost their last 2 straight, including a 2-0 loss to a very lackluster Mainz 05 team. That's a bad loss there. Frankfurt's been victorious in just 2 out of their last 9, and that includes losses to Leverkusen and FC Basel in non-league play. Now, Frankfurt's won just 10 out of 30 games thus far in the season. They're also just 4 points ahead of 15th place FC Mainz in the standings. Now, Hertha Berlin on the other side, they've only lost just 1 out of their last 7 themselves, including 3 shutout victories during that span. They shut out the likes of Augsburg, Union Berlin, and Hoffenheim. They also gave up just 3 total goals in their last 5 outings. And when it comes to the total in this matchup here, we're looking at a Hertha Berlin squad who saw 3 out of their last 5 get over the total of 2.5 goals. Matter of fact, 9 out of their last dozen also got over that number. Meanwhile, on the Frankfurt side of things, they saw 8 out of their last 9 get over the 2.5 themselves. So with all that in mind, give me Hertha Berlin plus $1.10 and the over 2.5 in that match. All right, next contest, it is going to be Paderborn squaring off against Werder Bremen. That is a great matchup there. Wow. 9:30 a.m. Eastern start time. Bremen's the plus money favorite at plus $1.20. Totals 3, juiced to the under. So look for that one to possibly teeter back and forth between 2.5 and 3 between now and tomorrow morning. Got to pick your spots in that one if you're looking to play the total. Like I said, that one should teeter back and forth. Now, the draw is currently plus 250, so if they end up tying here, it's going to pay you close to 3-1. And if you like Paderborn in an upset, they're plus 215 for some money line cash. Now, believe it or not, Paderborn has played tough in their last handful of matches, as bad as they've been. They only lost 1 out of their last 5. Now, granted, the other 4 games were draws, but they played the likes of Leipzig, Augsburg, Hoffenheim, and Fortuna very tough. holding them to one goal or less in each and every one of those draws. And as a matter of fact, this Paderborn defense has really played tough recently, giving up just 4 total goals in their last 5 matches, throwing out that Dortmund contest, of course. Now, Paderborn squaring off against a Bremen squad who's lost their last 2 straight and scored just 2 total goals in their last 5 matches. Really anemic on the offensive side of things. Now, Bremen's currently in second to last place in the league, victorious in just 6 out of 30 total contests. They also rank dead last in total goals scored with 30. And just for reference purposes, that is 60 total goals less than the number 1 ranked team in that category. Now, total-wise, ironically, 2 out of Bremen's last 3 stayed under the total of 3 goals. 4 out of their last 5 also stayed under that total. Meanwhile, on the Paderborn side, they saw 4 out of their last 5 stay under that total as well. We are looking at 2 very bad teams here, folks. So give me the draw at plus 250 and the under 3 in that contest. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Wolfsburg squaring off against Freiburg, and that's going to be a 9:30 a.m. Eastern kickoff. Wolfsburg's the $1.37 favorite, no surprise there. Totals 2.5, slightly juiced to the over. The draw's plus 280 and Freiburg's plus 380. Now, Freiburg's been victorious in just 2 out of their last 9, which includes 4 shutout losses during that span. They were held scoreless by Leverkusen, Bremen, Dortmund, and Fortuna. Guys, that's not a real impressive list of teams there, despite Dortmund, of course. Now, Freiburg's really struggled offensively this season as well, ranking just 13th out of 18 teams in total goals scored. And there goes the printer. Wow, that thing is really loud. They're averaging just 1.3 goals per contest. They're taking on a Wolfsburg squad who's currently in 6th place, going 12-9 on the season with 9 draws. They've only lost 2 out of their last 11 league contests, and that includes victories over the likes of Leverkusen and Hoffenheim during that span. They also held 3rd place Leipzig scoreless at a 0-0 draw. Now, total-wise, 2 out of Wolfsburg's last 4 stayed under the total of 2.5 goals. Meanwhile, on the other side, Freiburg saw their last 2 straight stay under that total themselves. 8 out of their last 10 also stayed under the 2.5. So with all that said and done, give me Wolfsburg winning this one outright and the under 2.5 goals in that match. Sorry, I'm laughing because the printer went off out of nowhere. Very loud. All right, next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Bayern Munich taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach. 12:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. We were doing the video here, and just like out of nowhere, like the printer. Not only was it working, that's fine, I get it, but it was like louder than it's ever been before.
Sorry.
It was, well, it's not your fault. I just didn't expect the printer that you use pretty much every day during the videos to be that loud. It was like projectile. Meanwhile, at the same time, we literally have a backhoe doing work on the house next door to us. A backhoe about 4 feet from our window, and they actually were able to see the reflections bouncing all over the place.
I'm sure they see my butt, too.
They've seen your butt?
I'm sure they see my butt.
Oh, the neighbors. Okay, I was going to say, I don't think YouTube's seen your butt.
No.
But yeah, the neighbors definitely have seen your butt. But anyway, so that's what's been going on. We got printers, backhoes, pile drivers right out there. It's been... this guy is just driving the bricks. Or
you meant like wrestling, pile driver.
No, not like the Undertaker's tombstone. No. But anyway, we're talking about Bayern Munich and Borussia Mönchengladbach. Okay. It's Germany. They're from Germany.
Yeah, I figured that much.
All right. Bayern Munich is taking on Borussia Mönchengladbach, and that's a 12:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Bayern's the 250 favorite. No surprise there. Total's 3.5, slightly juiced to the under. The draw is plus $4, and if you like Gladbach to get the job done here, they're plus $6 to win it. And speaking of Gladbach, they're coming fresh off a 1-0 shutout loss to 8th place Freiburg. Gladbach's been victorious in just 1 out of their last 4, including a 3-1 loss to Leverkusen during that span. They were also held scoreless by 17th place Werder Bremen in a 0-0 draw Definitely a wasted opportunity there to pick up 3 points against a cupcake of a ball club. They're taking on a first-place Bayern team who hasn't lost in league competition in 16 outings. And that includes shutout victories in 8 of those matchups. Very impressive. Bayern's 22-4 on the season with just 4 draws. Their 70 points on the year puts them 7 points ahead of second-place Dortmund and 11 points ahead of third-place Leipzig. Very dominant right now. Bayern ranks first in goals scored, along with ranking first in goals allowed. And when it comes to the total in this one, we saw 2 out of Bayern's last 3 get over the total of 2.5 goals. Meanwhile, on the Gladbach side, 3 out of their last 5 got over that number. Hey, keep it down!
Sorry.
So with all that said and done, give me Bayern Munich winning this one straight up for some pricey money line cash. Might want to include it in a parlay and the over 3.5 goals in that contest. All right, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some well-deserved shout-outs. You guys deserve it for sticking with me during this podcast here. But anyway, from our Patreon platform, shout out to Michael DeGrati, Tony Segure, Jacob Adams, Wayne Smith, Mike McGee, Rich Pena, Alvin Reyes, Walter Jiminson, Pat McGillis, and Felipe Silva. Next, from our Instagram platform, shout out to Joseph Robert, the fantasy football counselor, Agam Verma, Will Slade, Cosplay Bunny, Hot Boy Chris, Gabe Simple, I Am Valentine, Mitch Austin, Wei Zong Lin, and Wang Lu Chang. And finally, from our YouTube platform, shout out to Stefan Dean Lugmeyer, Roy Munson, Bo Dunn, SOP LFD Striker, David Arango, Stephen Lewis, Chris Gonzalez, Hakir, Ari Joseph, and last but certainly not least, got to give a shout out to my man, Daniel Pacheco. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information, and all this extra crowd noise and sidebar. Certainly got noisy there during the podcast, but hey, that's what happens when you're doing live TV. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. Happy Friday or Saturday to you, depending on when you're watching this. Best of luck to you, and I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.